Hello and welcome to the Fairy Little Knitting Podcast. I'm Marsha, also known as Fairy Little, and this is my podcast all about knitting. Welcome back everybody, and welcome to anybody who is a new viewer. I wanted to start off by saying it's been a little while and I want to apologize because I've been going through some super deep heavy life stuff and I didn't want to bring that energy here. So I am ready to share some things with you that I have been working on because of everything that's been going on. I have spent a lot of time knitting, so I have a bunch of things to show you. The last video I put up was for my winter Doldrums shawl. That is a free shawl and you can go get that. I'll have the link below and you can go and get it. It made it to number 9 on What's Hot on Ravelry, so I want to say thank you to everybody who downloaded it. I really appreciate all the support. Even though it's a free pattern, it just helps get my name out there if people are picking it up. So I have a bunch of things that are going to be coming out soon and some things that I'm wrapping up and finishing up. So what I'm going to talk about today is a work in progress, a whole bunch of finished objects, a knit along that I'm co-hosting, and then some jibber jabber, and that will be it for today. So let's get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is my winter Doldrum shawl. I needed something that was a little bit relaxed and just easy to do. It's a very simple knit. It is a one skein wonder and it is a small asymmetrical shawl slash wrap, and it's just meant to be something simple that you can just work on anywhere. It's a 4-row repeat. It's super simple. It's just some squishiness going on here. The yarn that I used is sock yarn by Hedgehog Fibers in the Tickle colorway. I wanted something that was just very bright and very happy. This has not been blocked yet. This is pre-blocking. And it just is super cute. You can use a shawl pin or you can tie a knot in it or whatever. It's very simple. Even a new shawl knitter will get the hang of this super fast. I wanted something that was very easy, was very quick, was one skein, so you could pick your favorite skein and get it on the needles, get it off quickly, so you have that satisfaction of casting something on and casting something off. And it's free, which what's better than free? So the whole thing was just a cheerful movement. But it's been a while since I completed this. So it's the winter Doldrum shawl and is available on Ravelry, so you can go and get that and it's free. So why not? The next thing is I finished another wrap. You can see I'm wearing it right now. And this is my, it's a circle shrug. I don't have a name for it. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to ask for your help in deciding a name. So you can just go below the episode and put in your suggestion for a name for this big, just circle shrug. I'm so glad I reknit it because one of the wordings that I had put in there, though it made sense while I was writing it, in the reknit, I understood that there was, I caught my own interpretation problem, so I fixed that. So that's done. I'm just adjusting for sizes to make one size smaller, one size larger. It is huge. So I feel like the size that I knit will suit most people. I think the smaller size would be better for petite sizes or more petite sizes. It's meant to fit big, but it shouldn't be dragging on the ground is how it's meant to be. So this one is very large. It takes 5 skeins of fingering weight yarn. So does this one. 5 skeins of fingering weight yarn. And it is just this big, cozy, simple, knit in the round hug, essentially. I have a new shawl pin that I got. I was in Victoria recently and I found this and it was just beautiful. It's actually, the stone bit right in there is actually pink, but the red comes through so it looks more red. So I think it will go with a lot of different things. It will definitely go with the gray one. Yeah, it's knit with a fingering weight yarn. This original one that I knit has shorter sleeves than this one that I knit. I did longer sleeves, so I'll include both of those options in the pattern. I've had a couple people contact me who are interested in test knitting, and yes, I would like some a couple test knitters. I don't think I need one for the small, one for the medium, one for the large sizes, just to make sure that everything is smooth for all of those. I don't think that there should be any problems with them. As well as I had enough yarn left over from this one, which I'll show you, to actually knit a toque to go with it. So, but you can see it's very long. It goes all the way down and very comfy. It's very cozy. I wore the gray one on the ferry because this one wasn't finished yet. This one just finished blocking. Like, I just picked it up off of the towels right before I started recording. I wore this one on the ferry. It was so cozy and just like, oh, so nice in the wind. But I also had just enough yarn from this one to knit a matching hat. And this is my matching hat. See, matches perfectly. And it is... So I knit it out with a 2.5 needle, 2.5 millimeter needle, and I actually did a post on, because I knit a bunch of sock weight hats, and I just actually underneath my Instagram post put the recipe out. I'll type it up and put it out there as well. It'll be a free pattern because it's a very simple hat recipe and it's what I use. But it's sock weight, 2.5 millimeter needles, and the yarn that I used in this beautiful creation. The yarn I used for this is a West Coast Color yarn. It is their Thocky 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 400 meters, which is 113 grams, and it's called Random Red number 3 because this is not a color that you can get anymore. She has something very close to it, but this one was just in her extras area, so I just picked up 5 skeins of it because I thought it was beautiful. And so actually a color you can get, but you can get something similar if you go to westcoastcolor.com. And this says West Coast Color and carding.com, but I don't think it has the end carding anymore. This is her old tag, so I'll try to stick the link below. Otherwise, Google's your best friend. And so I have also knit some more hats. So I have knit 2 in this beautiful color. One was for me and one was for one of my girls. And this yarn is, this one is Manos del Uruguay yarn, and it is in the Badasiana colorway. Badasiana colorway, and there was enough in one skein for 2 hats. And then I knit 2 hats out of this colorway, which is Manos del Uruguay again. And it's the Alegria, both are Alegria, and this one's colorway is the Jacaranda. It's the Jacaranda colorway. So there was still some yarn left over afterwards. It'll be for scrap blanket, or there's enough probably for a pom-pom, but I'm not going to do a pom-pom. I'll just leave them like this. So what I did is I used a smaller needle size in one of them just to see how it knit up. And one of them has less stitches, I believe, because I wanted to see how that worked as well. So those this hat pattern will be written up and it will be put on Ravelry as soon as I get the time to do it. So that's a couple more finished objects. So I knit for 5 fingering weight hats, and I finished this shawl, and I finished another shawl, and I have one more hat that is finished. And this is knit out of 100% merino wool. There's 200 meters in 100 grams. It's a worsted weight yarn. It's a nice round fluffy yarn. And this is in the Concord colorway. And it is Mineville Wool Project. Or Mineville Wool Project. I've never knit with this yarn before. It is very nice. It has a really great stitch definition. And it's just a really plump, round yarn, which I think is just, I think it would be really nice with some color work. I think it would add some nice stitch definition to color work, and also cables would look really nice in this as well. So I have one hat complete out of that. And I have a second hat that I'm working on. I'm actually running out of yarn, so I don't know if this one will actually be finished or if I'll be ripping this one out. It's just nice and mindless knitting for me right now because that is what I need in my life. So if you're wondering about my cabled cardigan, that is part of the knit along. The Cable Cal 2019 that I'm co-hosting with Grace and Akira. I'll have their links below. Grace is from the Babbles Traveling Yarn podcast and Akira is from the Knitting Annihilator podcast. We are co-hosting a cable knit along together. It culminates at the end of March. March 31st is the final day. We all have links in our groups. We also have tags on Instagram that you could follow. I will have all of the information down below in the information box so that you can link to each of them. You need to follow them. You need to go into their groups. I haven't been as active in mine because just again, I've been going through a ton of stuff. So that is going to end, but the cardigan that I have been working on has not been being worked on because for me at this time, it's just too much brain power. I feel like I'm going to get back to it. I do want to finish it. It's one of those things that it just kind of either needs to be done or frogged, and I really, really want the finished objects. I just need to get it done. I just came up to a hiccup whether I liked how it finished at the top of one side. I just have to finish the other side in 2 sleeves and then it's done. So maybe this weekend I'll work on it. Maybe I'll do that. So yeah, I got a lot of knitting done. Just a lot of thinking done. I'm going to do a lot more knitting and a lot more thinking, but that's it for me for today. I will get as much stuff on Ravelry as I possibly can over the next little while. That's kind of my goal, is to finish up what I get all the paperwork done. I also have a pattern coming out. My Pasqua shawl is going to be coming out at the end of April. It's at Easter. It started last Easter, and so I'm releasing it this Easter. It's a beautiful 3-color shawl. Doesn't have to be, and it's lace and it's just stunning. I love it, but I wanted to make sure that it's all ready to go. And I think that is it for the knitting content. If that's all you're here for, then that was short and sweet and right to the point. So thanks for joining me for that. If you are ready to get into some jibber jabber, let's continue on, shall we? And I will address a couple elephants in the room. One big elephant is that I got my hair chopped off. Yes, I did. And it's dyed. It's dyed blue, black, and chopped off. I went to Victoria with my best friend and all of our kids and went and saw my sister, Scylla, who you might know from when we podcast together. And my friend said, hey, I think you would look really good with a bob. I said, well, I've had a bob before, so I'm not scared of a bob. And she said, I think you should get your hair cut. And I said, okay. So we went into a shop and the stylist asked me what I wanted. And I said, ask her. And she showed the stylist a hairstyle. And I said, the only caveat I have is nothing shaved. So my best friend, Ella, picked my haircut, and then we picked up some dye and she dyed my hair that night. And then the next day, we went out, and I have wanted a nose piercing since I was 18, something like that. So it's been 20 years. So I didn't rush into this, but she said, you're getting your nose pierced today because he wanted it for so long and now's the opportunity. So I said, yes, I will, and went and I got that. So that's what the little sparkle is. It is an opal, which is my birthstone. So I really love it. And if you're not into that sort of thing, that's completely fine. It took me 20 years to poke a hole in my nose, so I hear you. But I love it. So I'm super happy. I'm really happy with my haircut. I'm really, considering everything that's been going on for me, I'm doing very, very well. I'm very happy with the direction things are going in for my life. And my trip to Victoria was amazing. The kids had so much fun. We did so many things. One of my favorite things to do is go to the miniature museum there. And I just love walking through there. I don't know why, it just fills this happy place in my heart. So, yeah, we had a really great time. Took the kids to visit castles, spent time at the ocean. I took a nap on the beach, which was fun. And we just really had a really relaxing time. I had been fighting migraines through February and I didn't have one headache during the entire time we were gone. It was beautiful. I slept amazingly. And then as I was driving back into my driveway, I got hit with a headache. So, but it's kind of, it's hanging around, but it's not full on right now. Like I can sense that it wants to play, but I'm trying to keep that in check. So, yeah, I am getting really excited for May is coming up and I'm going to the Sorrento Knitting Retreat, which I'm very excited about. I really need some rest and relaxation and some just myself time and some soul filling, I feel like. In June, I'm teaching at Fiberphilia, which is in New Denver, and I'm really excited about that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And then in September, the plan is to go to Knit City, and same group of ladies I went with last year. We've rented a house already. We're super excited, and yeah, I think it's going to be really, really good. I don't know how regular I'm going to be. I don't want to say that, like, I really want to be regular. I really want to be putting something up every week. That is what my goal is. But I don't know how realistic that is for me right now. And I just need to be okay with that. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people who watch podcasts who want the podcast on a certain date and a certain time. And if they aren't receiving that, then they're not happy. And I apologize for that. I need to make sure that during the process of everything that's happening, and I'm not going to get into it here, but I just need to make sure that I am balancing well and that I can be in the right space when I'm presenting to you. And that is my goal, is that when I am here, I'm here with you. And this past year has kind of been a zoo. Like, I'm not gonna lie, there's been a lot going on in the last year that has been crazy for me. And I know it probably sounds like I talk like that often, but seriously, things are nuts. Like, my life is just upside down. So if you can relate to that, then I apologize. So that's it for me for today. I hope you have an amazing day, amazing week, and if I don't see you soon, an amazing month. I will draw prizes on the next episode for the knit along, and I will have as many prizes as I can possibly find for you lovely partakers in the knit along. I've started seeing all of the finished objects coming in, so I'm very excited about that. And I want to say, you know what, you guys, I love you and I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for sticking around and joining me each time I post. Until next time,